I have so many questions to talk to you about, but I guess the first thing is the script is so well written and I learned so much. What has this process, or can you describe a little bit of working together on this thing? Because so much is classified, but yet the film is able to portray so much that, you know what I mean? That towing that line.
Well, you answered a bit of your own question. So much is classified that we actually couldn't work together very much because I felt an obligation to protect Dan from the process. And so I read the report, and I would certainly ask him questions about how does this footnote here, footnote 428 inform footnote 1000. It seems like there's a connection. Am I imagining it? So we could have those kinds of very deep in the weeds conversations. The great thing about having the report was it provided kind of an organizing principle for the script. It kind of goes detainee by detainee, and I picked a few of those that I felt were good examples for the gist of the whole summary. And I kind of started there, and we did a lot of table reads, which I'd not ever done before with the script, and it really helped me track redundancy, give kind of an arc to what Adam was going to do by figuring out how to progress his frustration with what he was doing.
I have to ask you, after giving so much of your life to this report, what was it like the first time seeing it, and did you have to be alone for a while afterwards?
After the film or after doing the report?
After the film, after watching it.
Well, yeah, actually the first time I really took in the film was at Sundance, actually. Believe it or not, it's the first time I saw it on a big screen. Obviously, it's impactful. It's hard to watch, right? In the sense, for me, I was so closely connected to it over 7 years. But Scott does, it's important work, right? The content of that report itself, it's really important to me that people know it and they learn from it, and there is some degree of accountability there, and to make sure that we don't do it again. So it's worth any personal sacrifice in terms of doing the report and any uncomfortableness, in so much as it brings up a period of time in your life when you're really dedicated to something and a bit obsessed about it, perhaps.
One of the things, listen, there's many things about the script that I love, but one of the things is that it never dumbs itself down for the audience. And I'm sort of curious, could you sort of talk about, because I would imagine there's some producers or maybe some people that are like, can we, that line of, anyway.
Well, I'm thrilled to hear you say that. One of maybe the only benefit of never, having financing until 2 weeks before we shot is we didn't have, I didn't have a lot of voices to answer to. Other than Jennifer Fox, my producer, the actors, Steven Soderbergh. And I don't like going to a movie and having a bunch of expositional scenes and getting way ahead of the story. And Steven has always encouraged me that if you write a good script and you get people leaning in and are curious, they'll catch up. And in fact, the expositional stuff tends to put them off because they already know. And, so I'm thrilled to hear you say that, because I want to treat the audience with respect.
Yeah. The thing that I find so insane is the amount of dialogue that is delivered in this film and you shot in 26 days. I don't understand how you pulled that off, and I really want to know, how did you film this in 26 days with the amount of dialogue you need to deliver?
I got a lot of help from my line producer, Carrie Orant, in terms of organizing things, and there were difficult decisions about combining locations, and really spent a lot of time crawling around, finding new angles in spaces we had been before. But the best thing was everybody showed up, with their their lines, and like the scene with Corey Stoll and Adam, which is right at the center of the movie, that's 6 pages. And we shot it in half a day, and it was because those guys were so off book. And in fact, I had divided it up into 3 acts and had figured out all of my camera positions before they got there. And when they got there, I said, okay, we're just going to do 2 pages, then I'm going to reset. And they're like, no, we want to do this all as a piece. And so every take was all 6 pages. And when you get into an edit room, that's gold.
That's crazy. Many more questions. I will talk to you at
Yeah.
another point.
Cool. Thanks.
Thank you again for your
Thank you.
service.
That's
For
kind
real.
of you to say that.
Yeah.
I look forward to reconnecting.
We'll
with you.
talk.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I
awesome.
definitely want to.